Well, hello everyone. Dr. Jeff Golini here with EFX Sports. Hello everybody from Popeye. So glad to have you live today. Hey, before I get started, I just want to tell you a little bit about who is Dr. Jeff Golini, because you might be wondering, who the heck is this guy? Well, I'm a former high school All-American in football, basketball, and track. I played high school ball. I was all conference, all county, most valuable player, MVP, well, it's the same as most valuable player, captain, did it all. Went on to play college football for 4 years. I got hurt, so I didn't go into the NFL, and I actually got into bodybuilding and moved out to Venice Beach, California. Gold's Gym, the Mecca, was out there during the 80s, and that's how I got into the supplement industry. I was tired of what was available for athletes like me, and of course with bodybuilding, you're building your physique. So I started to formulate and develop things that I could use myself. One thing led to the next, and a company was started. Now, when I'm not bodybuilding, I'm out doing my doctor thing. Besides formulations, working in the lab at All American Pharmaceutical. I also own a lot of patents. I do a lot of research, so I'm always at different conferences, medical conferences, doctors' conferences, presenting research. So anyhow, welcome again, Popeyes. Hey, for those of you who are listening live, I'm going to pop my email up there. If you send me an email to drj@allamph.com and just list your store name, say Popeye Store, and your location, I would love to send you a free gift just for watching and participating. For those of you who may be watching this on a podcast after the live show, hey, still send me an email. I'll find something to get to you because we appreciate you guys. All right, so who is EFX Sports? As I said, I developed EFX Sports back in the 80s, and it kind of started as All-American Nutritional Supplements, and over time it morphed into what today is EFX Sports. Now, I'm the patent holder and inventor of Crealkaline and Carbolin. Now, those are two of the EFX Sports SKUs that you guys have. Now, EFX Sports has a whole lot of other products, but as you can appreciate, it takes time to get those translated to make them Canadian street legal. So right now we have all of the Carbolin flavors and sizes and all of the different Crealkaline SKUs. We've got more coming your way. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about Crealkaline. Most of you are familiar with Crealkaline because it has been on the Canadian market for some time now. Now, one of the things that I do is I also sell the raw material. I license other people to use it to manufacture. So that's why you may see other Crealkaline brands in your marketplace. But EFX Sports is the official Crealkaline brand. It's the only one I can guarantee to be correct, that will be drug-free and certified. These are the translucent purple caps that are printed with Crealkaline and the U.S. patent number. Now, not only is there a U.S. patent, but there are Canadian patents, and there are global patents pending and patents worldwide. So it's a very global product. So let me tell you just a little bit about, how Crealkaline came about. Contrary to what you may have heard, I was the one who brought creatine monohydrate to the marketplace back in the early 90s. A gentleman over at a company called Cow Farm called me up one day and said, hey, we want to do something called creatine monohydrate. We found this little study. And that's how it all started. So I have been involved with creatine monohydrate from the beginning. Now, one of the first things I noticed is that when you took creatine, there were a whole lot of side effects. Water retention, bloating, muscle cramps, diarrhea, headaches. I then discovered, I rediscovered that creatine was not stable, meaning that as soon as it hit water or your stomach, it instantaneously started to convert to something called creatinine. Now, creatinine is a bile waste. This is what causes all the side effects. So as I continued to research creatine, and I was involved with all of the creatine HPs with sugar and effervescence, one day in the laboratory, I was a little bored, and I decided to find out what would happen if I activated all these different creatines that I'm making with water, like it says on the label, and then I put it in my instrument. And lo and behold, I started to see all this creatinine. So I thought my instrument wasn't working. I called a friend of mine up and I sent out the same samples to him and I had him duplicate. Well, what we found out was that, as everyone was saying, creatine is not stable. As soon as it hits solution, instantaneously it starts to convert to this creatinine. But the interesting thing was I discovered the lower the pH, the quicker that conversion. Now, we were telling everybody to put it in fruit juice. Again, fruit juice is acidic, lowers the pH. I then discovered that if I were to raise that pH and alkalize it, that I actually could get that conversion to stop. And that's what led to all the Crealclin patents. During the manufacturing process, I raised that pH so it is up around that 12-14 range, which makes Crealclin the world's only stable creatine, which is why there is no loading, no side effects, no bloating, and the list goes on. And you only need a small amount to actually work. That's why I was able to put it in capsules and the whole Crealclin capsule phenomena started. You know, prior to that, we had to mix it with water, you know, kind of a pain. Everybody has everything that goes into water. So this made it very easy to use and very affordable. 2 caps in the morning for most people is enough. For training and aspiring athletes, I always recommend 2 in the morning and then 2 pre-workout. Now, there's a whole lot of ways that people have told me, pre, post, you know, evening, whatever works for you. But at the end of the day, you don't need a whole lot to really accomplish what creatine is supposed to do. So as I say, creatine monohydrate is what Crealclin is. Creatine monohydrate is the granddaddy. It is the only form of creatine that actually can be absorbed by your body. But there's a flaw. I fixed that flaw. That's what Crealclin is. Now, there are other creatines that have come and gone. Creatine HCl, creatine nitrate, and I can list a whole bunch after that that have disappeared. Creatine ethyl ester. What their attempt was with these creatines were to try to make them more water soluble. Well, who cares? Because at the doses that we all take creatine, it is water soluble already. But what happens is they are taking these forms of creatine. They've got to start with creatine monohydrate, and they are subjecting them to an acid. Well, we already know that if we lower the pH, we're going to start to get that creatine to convert to creatinine. Then what happens is that we are binding some salt to our creatine molecule. Now we only have 40% or 60% creatine. Just going to check my monitor here, make sure that everything's working good. It is. So now we only got 40 or 60% creatine left because the rest is a salt. I always tell people, could you imagine going up to the gas pump and a sign says, hey, we have a new form of gas, but by the way, it's only 40% gas. The rest is salts or water. Man, you'd feel ripped off. So again, they contain lots of creatinine. Do they work? Well, yeah, there is still some creatine monohydrate in there, but not as effective. So that's why I'm excited about Crealclin. Crealclin really sells itself because it does work. I introduced it back in the early 90s, and it still is the #1 selling creatine. So that's what I want to tell you about Crealclin. Oh, by the way, if you do have questions, go ahead and maybe jot them down and send me an email. And you don't just have to do it during the show or after. If any of you ever have any questions about anything on EFX Sports, feel free to contact me directly. Or if there's something that you need, send me an email. I'll always answer you, and I always will try my best to get you whatever you need to be able to sell. Okay, the second product that I really want to talk about is Carbolin, because Carbolin is a little bit newer to the marketplace. Crealclin has been out for some time, and most people know about creatine. But Carbolin is a very, very interesting carbohydrate. Again, you know, as an athlete, I struggled with what do I do before a workout? How do I fuel myself? Well, my education tells me that you need glucose, glycogen, to fuel the muscles. Where does glycogen come from? Sugar. All carbohydrates are sugars. You have simple and you have complex carbohydrates. Well, we know that if we take a sugar, which is table sugar, honey, or anything along that line, even fruits, that sugars absorb very, very quickly. Within about 5 minutes, you will find glucose in the bloodstream ready to burn for fuel. The problem is you will get that spike, but in about 15 minutes, you get that sugar crash. Guess what? You now are more tired than when you started. That's the bad thing about sugar. Does it fuel you relatively quickly? Yes, but you get that sugar crash. So all of these drinks, especially the drinks that were made in the 1950s that contain sugar, counterproductive for any type of athlete or anybody who is out training, exercising, looking to have more endurance and stamina. Plus, it's a whole lot of calories. I find so many people are drinking, gallons of this sugar water a day, and they're wondering why they can't lose body fat. Now, carbolin is a complex carbohydrate. So we would normally say complex carbohydrates are going to be absorbed much slower, 6 to 8 to 10 hours. But carbolin is absorbed as quick as a sugar. So within 5 minutes, you've got glucose in the bloodstream ready to burn for fuel. What does this mean? Well, first of all, this means that you're going to naturally fuel yourself for a workout, for a game, whatever your sport is, 5 minutes prior. But it also means you can replenish those glycogen levels at halftime or during the game. We have carbolin coolers all over the sidelines from football, basketball, track, wrestling, soccer. Because again, when you run out of gas, when you run out of glucose or glycogen, this is when you hit the wall. This is when you get tired. By replenishing those stores, you've got immediate source of energy. As a matter of fact, if you work out hard, you take some carbolin interim, and then you finish your workout, it is like you didn't even do the first part. Because again, the quicker you can replenish those glycogen levels, the quicker you recuperate and recover. Now, there are a lot of carbohydrate products that have now come out in the market after carbolin. What are they? What's the difference? Because that's some of the biggest things that people do ask me. So one of the things that came to the market was something called waxy maize. If you've ever cooked, or maybe your grandma or your mother, turkey dinners here in the United States, that's what we do for Thanksgiving. And after that, we make gravy out of the droppings. And guess what we use? We use cornstarch. Guess what cornstarch is? Waxy maize. It's cheap. Is it a carbohydrate? It sure is. It's a starch. Is it a source of energy? Absolutely. The problem is it's going to take hours before you can actually use that for fuel. So by taking any type of waxy maize before you train, it's really a waste. And look at the expense. Go look at what cornstarch costs. You can get it for anywhere from 89 cents to maybe $1.50 for a tub. And most of the time, waxy maize is selling for $39 or $49. Again, not the best type of carbohydrate. If you want to use it for adding calories or something, okay, I'm cool with that. But there are less expensive forms that you can go buy. Sugar has been one of the big ones that has hit the market. Dextrose. And again, the whole thing is after a workout, you need to replenish those glycogen levels to recover. So you're going to take, 200 or 300 grams of dextrose. Guess what? If you aren't one of those big-time bodybuilders that is burning a kabillion calories a minute, you're going to get fat by using that sugar. Now, does it replenish glycogen stores? Absolutely. But we've already discussed that you're going to crash after 50 minutes. You're going to be tired. You're going to be lethargic. Who wants that? And then who wants all those wasted calories? Carbolin is the perfect post-workout, again, because it is absorbed as quick as the sugar, but sugar-free. So again, sugars are not good. The other one that's on the market is something called Cyclodextrins. Again, these are complex starches, very slow absorption. So again, if you want to add calories to your diet and you don't care about the absorption rate, that might be a reason to use it. But most of them are chalky tasting. They don't taste very good, and they don't mix very well. By the way, if you haven't tried carbolin, carbolin is completely instant. Hits the glass, take a spoon, one shake, it's in solution, and it tastes delicious. Even the neutral is not bad. So again, all of these other carbohydrates on the market, is there a place for it? Yes. but it is not carbolin. None of them will be absorbed as quick as a sugar. Now there's another brand that bankrupt in the USA, Vitargo. Their claim to fame is they are absorbed quicker than a sugar. How can you absorb quicker than a sugar? A sugar is 5 minutes. There's no way that you're going to get any quicker than a sugar. Sugar is really the benchmark. Plus it comes from barley. It sticks to your teeth. It sticks to your glass. People get upset stomachs. So again, great starch. If you want to add calories to your diet, hey, perfect way. Mix it with some protein, make your own meal replacement. But for athletes, for active people, whether you're CrossFit, endurance runners, football, basketball, soccer, rugby, you name it, you need to replenish those glycogen stores quickly. And that's what carbolin is about. So kind of in a nutshell, that's really what makes carbolin different. That's why athletes are so excited about it, because it does work. Now, one of the big fads that kind of hit the market last year was the whole ketogenic thing. And I know a lot of people, that works. I always say you got to find what works for you. It should be the you diet. But as you know, if you are a keto-holic or a ketard, as some people say, you've got to come out of ketosis. And if you try to go to the gym and be in ketosis and train, you are not going to grow. You've got to fuel. So we've got all of our keto people using carbolin before they train. 50 grams will be completely burned up in 1 hour. Gone. You're back in ketosis. But let me tell you, you are going to get the best workouts, the best pumps that you've ever had in your life. So again, no matter what you're trying to do, if you are looking, you have people that want to lose weight, I put everyone who's on a weight loss diet, they will take carbolin before they exercise. Now, you probably are thinking, why? Think of a big old log in your fireplace representing fat. How are you going to burn that log? Are you going to take a match, which is energy, and are you going to light that log? No, you've got to put kindling underneath that log. Kindling is carbohydrates. Carbohydrates create that energy so that you can metabolize fat for your second source of energy. So again, by not properly fueling yourself, you're not going to be able to withstand 30 or 40 or 60 minutes of cardio, 60 minutes of a hard workout. You've got to fuel those muscles, man. And muscles work with glycogen. Now remember, your brain, your heart, all of your organs, those are muscles. And you've got to be able to fuel them. So even when you do go into ketosis, your body actually takes that fat and turns it into sugar, because without sugar, you will completely cease to exist. So again, very, very important. Now in a weight gain program, let's say people are just trying to gain weight. I like to tell people, make your own weight gains. The problem with a lot of the gainers on the market is they have a lot of inexpensive fillers, and usually they're maltodextrins and sugars. Again, not very healthy, not very good. Why not take a good quality protein? I preferably like whey protein isolates or whey protein concentrates. Now EFX Sports does make those, but I don't have those in the Canadian market yet. So you can take any brand of protein that you like. So now they can adjust their macros. They can determine how much protein they're going to need. I usually recommend 1.5 grams per pound of body weight that you want to be at. Now, to make a meal replacement or a weight gain, you add carbohydrates. So now you can add carbolin to that protein. And let me tell you, you mix a vanilla protein with a fruit punch or strawberry or orange, it is the most delicious thing that you've ever had. It's like making a smoothie, but you haven't added all the milk and all the sugar and all the berries and fruits. And it's very cost effective. So very, very good way to encourage people who are trying to gain weight. The same way where you want to encourage people who are trying to lose weight, you still got to fuel yourself. Now, maybe smaller people, women, might only need a half a scoop. That's fine. Again, enough to fuel your bodies through the workout. So in a nutshell, that's really what EFX Sports is about. We're about producing high performance products. Now, All American Pharmaceutical is the sister company of EFX Sports right here in Billings, Montana, where I'm broadcasting live from. And that's where all of the products are made. You need to go check out the EFX Sports website or Facebook page, and you need to check out the YouTube channel. Check out the Doc to Doc. That is going to tell you what makes EFX Sports different than every brand in the world. Now, you guys know, being in the retail business, every marketing says we're the best. But if you can't prove why you're the best, then those are nothing more than slick marketing terms. So again, go watch the Doc to Doc, because it's going to tell you what goes on behind the scenes. It's going to give you a little look into All American Pharmaceutical quality. You know, what is on the label is in the product. We are constantly formulating, patenting, and bringing products to market. So in closing, I just want to say thank you, and I want to tell you about one new thing that we're going to be releasing next year that I'm also very, very excited about. I've got a patent that issued last year on a compound called Lyzyme 5. Now we're working on getting this approved for the Canadian market. This is going to revolutionize the whole weight loss industry. Think about doing absolutely nothing and burning body fat for energy. That's right. That's what the patents are about. So very, very exciting. All right, my friends, send me an email. First of all, for all of you that were watching live, and just list your store name and say, hey, I watched live, and I will send you out a free gift. Oh, make sure you send me your address too, and phone number, because it's got to get through customs. So I got a free gift for you. And if you have any questions, my email, drj@allamph.com. Love to answer any of your questions. Follow me on Facebook, Dr. Jeff Golini. I'm always posting interesting things, always talking about EFX Sports, and of course you want to check out the EFX Sports social media. Hey, thank you. I appreciate every one of you guys, from your owners down to your store managers to you in the store. Thank you for your support. Thank you for believing in EFX Sports. And let's make 2018 EFX Sports-Popeye's takeover crazy, and let's make it the #1 and #2 selling products out of your stores. All right, everybody, take care. I'm going to sign off, and thanks again for your time. I appreciate it.